In a remote corner of the desert, 20 miles north of Blythe, there is a relatively unknown ghost town. At its peak, the town had a population of around 1,000 people. Like most ghost towns, they usually were built around a singular industry like a mine or a factory. This town had both, with the mine extracting gypsum and the factory processing the mineral into products. Not much remains today except for the remains of some old cars, foundations, and a small museum dedicated to the memories of this town. The museum includes some pictures and other memorabilia that provide some glimpse of what life was once like living here. The former residents have held reunions to celebrate and reminisce of the life they once had in this town. Like most mining towns, after the mine closed in 1966, the town was doomed. However, the large cavernous mine was later converted into the largest civil defense shelter in the United States during the Cold War. Join me while we explore what remains of Midland, California, and later we'll venture out into the desert to camp overnight. Enterprise Elementary School, Midland, California, circa 1931 to 1966. Burned down. Midland was burned down in 1966. From what I've read, it was due to firefighter training. So it was intentionally burned down, not arson. But it's kind of sad that this town was lost just because of that. Maybe these would have been classrooms on the side. Clearly not original broken glass, but as you can see, there's nails and bolts and a little bit of everything left behind from when it was set ablaze. Midland, California was a company town, not too dissimilar from Eagle Mountain. The primary difference, though, is Midland, California was actually owned by U.S. Gypsum Corp., which mined gypsum for, say, drywall, plasterboard, and those kind of items, whereas Eagle Mountain was mainly iron. The thing that's interesting to me looking through this area is it's not really too dissimilar in size. If this place was preserved, there would have been probably easily 50 houses out here, and it's just all gone. Really, all that remains is foundations like from the school. Over in the distance over there, I'm not sure if you can see it, but we'll go over there in a bit. There's remains of the foundation for the main gypsum mill. And then you have, remains of cars scattered all about. It's definitely an interesting area, but it's sad it couldn't have been preserved. On the other side of the school here, we have this other foundation. There really isn't a whole lot of evidence of what it was. However, I do see over in this corner that there were two smaller rooms that looked like they probably were restrooms. You can tell from the tile, there's like a mosaic tile that's remaining on the floor there. Very indicative of the era. It's like this nice yellow tile, and then there's like this kind of aquamarine for this other room. But I'm noticing down here in the stucco an old bottle That's clearly not recent. That kind of seems like it might be linoleum, but I can't tell. It's just too degraded. Then there's a stump of it looks like porcelain. There's a lot of it over here. I'm now in what I'm assuming is probably where the housing was. And there's a sign just laying here that has these names on it, so I'm assuming it's probably some of the people that probably lived here. Just empty foundations, though. Even in the middle of the road, you can tell that there's actually like a working sewer system at one point, because there were plenty of manhole covers just like this one. This location is littered with debris of all sorts. Not sure if it was originally from the home or if other people have dumped stuff here, but it's kind of interesting that in what I'm presuming is the yard, they have like these metal sculptures. It's all a tangled, rusty mess now, but not sure if this was their home or if it was a chapel, but this is where the first wedding in Midland took place. This is the foundation for the gypsum plant, and it's very extensive. I'm going to try to get up there so we can walk around a little bit. You can see some of the old I-beams that were used to support the building, long cut up. There's these concrete rooms over there. Let's check that out. Well, if I can find a way over there. I guess these were two different parts of the building. The foundations are separated. We'll see. There's all this brick over here too. All sorts of colors. Like there's red, there's yellow, there's orange. I wonder if the building had a brick facade to it. It's difficult to tell what these are, but there's like a slide that goes into it, like a chute. So it could have been storage for something. I looked inside. The camera can't pick it up, but there's a bunch of stuff in there, but no entrance. Let's go through here and see the other side. Yeah, no idea what they would have been. where I'm gonna stay tonight, and it's actually a really nice place. So I was heading north on Midland Road, and kind of to the left there was this road that there was this trail that kind of jutted off. So I followed that. It's not on Gaia GPS, but I think it's just, people have come up here, and as a result, there's a trail. So when I was following the trail, there was one guy with a Tacoma and a truck camper, but he was heading out. But there's nobody else out here, and since it's a Sunday afternoon, there's not going to be anybody else showing up. So I'm anticipating this can be a nice, relaxing, quiet evening. So tonight for dinner, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to be making chicken ramen with peppers. So all I really have to worry about is boiling water. And I do have a salad, so if I need a little bit more, I can eat that. I got to cut down on the carbs, so, no more sandwiches and a lot of bread. So the ramen's pretty simple, but with adding the peppers and the chunks of chicken in there, it's actually really delicious. It turned out really good. When people look at the desert, they just see that it's desolate, hot, lonely, barren. But that's furthest from the truth. There's so much life out here. It's a hard existence, but life survives. There's certainly people that come out here and they'll camp out over here, but almost everybody seems to want to flock to the mountains, in spring and summer, but it seems like the remote corners of the desert, just nobody cares about coming out here. What is there to do, I'll tell you what you can do. Sit back, you relax, maybe you crack open a beer or your favorite beverage, and you just watch the scenery, just like that. I don't think there's ever been a time that a good desert sunset has disappointed. And this is why I come out here. This is why I come out here and film for you guys. Well, it's a very brisk morning, but it's warming up quickly, and I had a pretty decent night's sleep. It was very quiet, with one exception. there's a pack of coyotes that came through my camp, but they were just passing through. About 3 a.m. I got woken up by some howling, and so I got my flashlight out because it was pretty close, and I watched them pass through. They weren't interested in me, which was an important part, and they're kind of heading, I believe that's west, so there's like hills over there. Maybe they were going for some prey over there, or they have a den or something. But other than that, I'm gonna start packing up and cleaning up, and we'll get out of here. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure about is which way I'm gonna leave. There is a road that crosses the valley that connects up to Highway 62 in Rice. I don't think I'm gonna go that way because when coming in on Midland Road, there was this kind of ominous sign that said, 4-wheel drive, but beware, have oil, gas, and food, and all that stuff. I'm sure it would be fine, but I'm also not 100% prepared in case like there's deep sand or anything like that. So I would prefer not to get stuck, especially with spotty cell service. And getting stuck out in the middle of nowhere, the tow would be very expensive, so not gonna do that, not gonna risk it. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start looking around, make sure that the area is clean, and pack everything up, and then we'll head on out.